just gets to another level of execution, another level of fitness, another level of readiness, another level of like closing quarters, like everything becomes a little more heightened every series that you go through. So I think that's the biggest thing for us.
And how can you guys as a group use this as kind of a building block to, create a new standard for yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, we for that, certainly want to look at the season-long performance as well as anything that happened in the playoffs. Certainly, like take from what we learned here and the lessons that we were taught, but try to figure out some things that might kind of be red flags moving forward. But yeah, you got to start back at square one when the season starts. You can't skip any steps. The West is going to be a monster next year, as it continues to be every year. So, but there was a lot of things we did well this year. Super proud of our guys in just building another layer of foundation to get where we're trying to go. So.
Chris, did they take away what you were trying to do on offense, or did you kind of give it away to some extent?
I mean, their physicality really bothered us. Thought their physicality kind of just busted us out of everything we tried to do. So.
And do you think that's been part of a kind of a season-long? I mean, there's been a number of things that have plagued the offense, but
yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been a season-long thing. It's been certainly here and there over 100 games that you play. It's happened, but yeah. So.
That surprised you most, that their physicality is what got you guys out of it? And it's been the opposite for you guys all year.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it surprised me. I mean, their defense has been, top defense since the trade deadline. They've done an incredible job of remaking their roster. 2 elite rim protectors, like everybody's guarding at a high level. Good schemes. But yeah, I mean, we weren't able to apply the pressure at the point of attack with their 2 guys as we have been, and that feels like we spent the whole series on their hip, or them getting by us a little too easily, and that's a tribute to their great skill as much as anything else. So
yeah, I was going to ask. I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, the Wolves didn't play like the Wolves," but how much do you think Dallas did have to do with that, and especially the play of those 2, kind of taking you guys out of what? I
mean, they shot over 50% again. We've been defensive led all year. We didn't get our defense consistently into this series the way it needed to be. Our most physical effort was last game 4. When we looked a lot more like ourselves on the ball and at the rim and everything else like that. So
for Ant at 22, it's rare in NBA history.
Yeah.
Where a 22-year-old leads a team in scoring and then leads his team to the finals. What is the next kind of growth here for him, and what did he maybe learn in this series that can propel him forward in the offseason when he goes to work on his game or?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, you got to get better at the things that you see in the playoffs, which get heightened. I think picking up some of the decision making. I thought he did a much better job of that as the year went on, as the playoffs went on. He saw probably more bodies in this series than he had in the previous 2. So that was one. But you're right. He's for a number 1 pick. I think he's had more playoff success than most of his colleagues that have been selected in that spot in recent years. The real challenge is, again, starting over at day 1. You can't get bored with the process of being great, and it takes the summer, it takes 82 games, and it takes sharpening your resolve in the playoffs, and just got to keep putting the work in.
Chris, you said in your first answer you felt like you busted out of structure by going a little isolation heavy in this game. What's the key when Ant and Cat are isolation heavy players to kind of stitch that together, the combination of isolation and structure?
Being able to go in isolation is, everybody does it at some point in the game, no matter how much structure you have out there. But still got to get set. You got to get to the right spacing. A lot of it is spacing related. So. We were never really able to kind of get, I don't think, into anything that gave us great, shape. So.
Chris, just in this moment, I mean, obviously super disappointing with the way it ended. Are you able to take a step back and just look at the season as a whole and what you accomplished, or is it too fresh here?
No, I mean, of course, we're very disappointed. You know, I thought, like I said, that when I look back in summer long, going to be a lot of regrets about early parts of the series. But it's been a great year. Very proud of the guys. It's just the way the city has gotten behind the team and the fans. It's been special, and we've always said from the time we got here, we just want to put out a team that people are proud to root for and play the right way. And we feel like we do that. Now we just got to keep fine tuning everything. So, as the summers go on, of course, you're going to reflect on the good, and you're going to also reflect on the things where you need to get better. So, thanks, guys.
Just a reminder, everyone, we're going to bring all 5 starters, Naz, Nikhil, and Kyle, to the podium. So we'll just bring everyone here.
2-2. 2-2.
Cheers, the man Sid.
And you guys clearly had a lot of confidence coming into the game and believe you get back in it. What did you see happen so early there that just brought a knockout punch and made it tough to come back?
Luka. Just that simple. He had like 3 shots from the logo. So it wasn't pretty much nothing we can do about it.
What's your emotions as the season now comes to an end about what you accomplished and where it fell short?
I just said we'll be back next year.
Do you think this is something that you just have to go through experience to kind of build on?
Unfortunately, it's going through it with a loss, but I guess so.
What do you think about?
Bring me a towel.
And what do you think about this Mavs group and their potential of what they could accomplish in the finals? And what do you think you can take from what they did to stop you personally in this series and apply it to next year and beyond?
Nothing.
When you kind of look back on this series, maybe early in the series, what do you think this team could have done better, especially on the offensive end of the floor, to try and counteract some of what Dallas was throwing at you?
We never clicked all together as a team in this series. Not even one game. I think that was the main thing. The last 2 series, we was all clicking at one time, making shots and stuff. We wasn't clicking at one time now.
Kind of along those lines, you've talked about all season through the playoffs the offensive talent that you guys have on this team. There was times through the regular season where the defense was there and the offense wasn't consistent. When you reflect on the series or on the season, what do you think is missing to make the offense more consistent?
I think it's all about just making shots. Yeah, I mean, this series alone, I don't think we shot the ball particularly well from the three-point line, and I think that hurt us. They was able to sit in the gaps all series, make it tough on me, and their game plan worked because we weren't making shots. But we'll be back next year, man.
Is there anything with them sagging as much as they can? Is there anything you can think of that you could have done better within that to find different ways to kind of get the offense going?
No, not at all. I feel like I was getting to the teeth of the defense, creating good shots, and creating the same shots that we was getting versus the other 2 teams that we played previously, and they just wasn't falling for us. And it's a lot of our guys' first time being in this light, so especially me, it's my first time. So we'll be ready, man. We'll be all right. First time, took a loss. Congratulations to the Mavericks, and we'll be back. We'll be all right.
This is the last. This is the last time we're going to get to talk to you before the off season here. So as you kind of maybe reflect on your season this year, where did you make the biggest growth, do you feel like, in your game over the course of the season?
Just being able to read the floor, not get as mad when teams double me and put 2 on me because I know my guys out there are going to knock it down, and just trusting my teammates.
And obviously disappointing loss in this series, but what do you take away from the successful postseason run that you guys had, especially the momentum after the first 2 series?
It's a lot of things to take away. I think the main thing is our identity, and we hung our hats on defense. I think we got a little away from that a little bit this series, and it showed because we're not the best offensive team. We always depend on our defense. So I think that's the main thing we take away from this playoff run is that we're a defensive team, and we got to start there every night.
And your first real deep playoff run, how much did you enjoy just what playoff basketball has to bring?
It's fun, man. I love it. I wish we could still play. I wish we was going back to Dallas for Game 6. But those guys came out, and they competed at a high level. And like I said, man, big shout out to them. But it's super fun, and I'm looking forward to being back right in this situation next year.
And you start the season against Dallas in Abu Dhabi. When you were at that point, what did you envision for this season to look like versus what played out for reality?
It's crazy because Slow-Mo said when we was in Abu Dhabi that he felt like we was going to play this team in the Western Conference Finals. He told me that in Abu Dhabi, so it's kind of crazy that we seen him. And, but they made some changes to their roster big time, and it helped them a lot.
And some of the young guys, Miller, and we didn't see some of those players. What do you got coming behind you with the younger guys?
We got a lot. I mean, our coaching staff and organization, weight room guys, they do a great job of preparing those guys. So this summer is going to be big for our young group. I mean, including me. I'm still young. Because we got some players that's haven't been able to showcase their talent. We got a lot of players.
Hey, and what did you learn through this playoffs, and what do you think it will do for you this summer as you prepare to come back next year and go even further?
I mean, you just know how you got to train because, like I said, I've never played this deep into a basketball season. So now I know, like, okay, in order for me to be able to be dominant in the third round, and if we get past the Western Conference Finals to go to the finals, I got to train like I'm going to go to the playoffs. So I can't be missing training days. I can't take days off. I can't, you know what I mean? I got to be ready. So now I know what it takes. I'll be ready.
And I know it's a quick pivot here, but what are you looking forward to from the Olympics experience coming up?
I don't even want to talk. I don't know.
As a leader of this team, what do you say to the other players on your team about workouts this summer? Is there specific things you want them to work on, or do you think they just improve on their own and you guys all come back for training camp?
I mean, yeah, they got their own trainers, their own guys. Yeah, they just work on their game. But I just told them, like, y'all know that we're going to be right back in the same position next year. So y'all know how y'all need to train to get ready, and include myself, like, you know, because we trained this year as if we was going to just play 82 games, maybe one round of the playoffs. We didn't know we was going to go this far, so we didn't train like it this summer. I know nobody did, especially myself. So I think this summer is going to be huge for all of us because we know what type of team we got and we know what we're capable of, so we need to train like we know what we're going to do.
What goes into training to play deep into the playoffs like you're talking about right now?
Just a lot of things. I think this summer I'm going to go back to how I trained the year that I was going to college. I think I was in the best shape of my life in my freshman year of college. A lot of air dying, the bike stuff, a lot of stuff like that, man, that make me uncomfortable.
And at 22 years old, your Olympics coming up, getting this far in the playoffs, the story of legendary companies on the course of being written. When you get into this offseason, the Olympics, what's your biggest motivation, inspiration? What keeps your fuel, your drive to be in moments like this and to be as good as you have been?
I think my brother, man. My brother, just seeing him, he works every day. He makes music to about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. When I wake up, he still be up making music. So him just, working to get himself out there and be the best that he can be, it makes me get up every morning and want to be the best that I want to be. And just showcasing to the world what I can do. I think that's another thing that drives me.
Awesome. Thanks, Ant.
All right.
We'll start with questions for Nikhil.
All right, fellas.
Nikhil, you guys have kind of hung your hat on the defense, specifically the perimeter defense and the ball pressure you guys are able to apply all season. What about Kyrie and Luka made that so tough to be able to kind of impress your defensive will on the game?
They're tremendously skilled. They pretty much can do everything. 3-level scorers, playmakers. So I think one of the toughest things is they're going to make tough shots as well. So it's kind of hard to say I'll live with that because they're comfortable taking it. Just got to show up every possession, try to find a way to throw them off as much as you can, take them out of their rhythm. They see so many coverages every night. They've been here for a while. They've had success and failure in the playoffs, so they know what's going to come. They've seen it all. This is my first year. Second, if you count it, just really having that opportunity. My first year playing all 82 and then coming into the playoffs and then getting that chance to, really learn just about the moment. And for me, it was just a growing process and getting better. And each game, just trying my best and just trying to impact winning that I could for the team.
Rudy, as you kind of think about how this series played out for you guys, what's maybe the one takeaway that you have of why you guys weren't able to get past this team?
A lot of it, but
those first two games, just being up the whole game, both games, and not being able to close. I don't believe in the what ifs. I think everything happens for a reason, but it's a totally different scenario if we win one of those two games or both. So lots of great things. Obviously, not where we wanted to end, but a lot of positives. And a lot of things to be excited about. We'll be right back. We'll be right back, and even better.
Rudy, you guys got, when you remember the Jazz made it to the West Conference Finals, I think.
Never
made it. Second round. Second round?
Second round.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. But you made some steps in the playoffs and didn't reach your ultimate goal. What about that process will you take with you to help this group reach its full potential?
Just keep going. Keep believing. I'm happy that we got, second year for me with this organization, with this group. Obviously we the only thing in our mind was the championship, but championships are hard. It doesn't happen like that. And getting to the Western Conference Final, second year, with this young group, I'm excited. I'm excited of what we can be as a team, and and the growth, the potential that we still have. We haven't tapped into our full potential, or even close to it yet. So it's obviously frustrated, but it's really exciting too. And and I don't plan on quit believing or anything like that. I believe that we're gonna get right back, and we'll be better and more prepared.
Rudy, you're a defensive tactician. You've had 5 shots at this team in terms of their ability to either finish off the bounce, throw a lob, or hit the 3 in the corner. What does this team need to do, whether it's personnel or habits, to be able to defend that at that level, to meet those guys and take at least 2 of those away fairly consistently?
That's a good question. I think we had a lot of really good defensive stretches, a lot of good defensive games. This team, obviously Luka and Kyrie are 2 unique players, and they're able to a lot of times figure things out, and then I feel like we put ourselves in a position to win. 3 of those games. 3 of those 5 games, we just, we fell short, and doesn't mean that we were playing terrible defense. Doesn't mean that, they were playing amazing offense. It's just that we fell short, and there's a lot of factors that come into that, and we truly believe that it's our attention to details that is going to make the difference for us, and our mental toughness. I think they got the best of us a lot of times when we lost that, and everyone likes to talk about game plan and all of that, but I truly believe that our mental toughness at times, and emotional stability, in the tough moments. I think that's what we really have to we will learn and get better at throughout the whole 48 minutes and the whole series.
Nikhil, for you this off season, is it more fine tuning or adding things to your game? And if it is adding, what does that look like?
Definitely adding. I think there's more that I could have brought to the team. I think could have helped Mike in playmaking. I want to become a better defender. Like I mentioned before, those guys are great players, but motivated me to want to take pride in that stuff, reach my full potential, try to be better, add value to the team. I think as a player and to my young self of who I wanted to be, I think I'm very far from that. And for me, it's just adding in every facet, becoming a high IQ guy, being able to make plays, not so much just relying on Ant to do everything or relying on Cat to get me open shots or Mike, and vice versa, like helping them get open shots, getting them easy looks. Just becoming a more complete player, and that's about it.
Rudy, you have that book all the time, The Obstacle is the Way, at your locker. Does that apply here?
All the time, man. Every day. You know, I mean, it's part of the journey. You know, each individual, I think, has their own challenges, their own goals, their own dreams, and nothing comes easy. You know, one thing I know, like coming from where I come from and being able to, it's already a miracle being able to, you know, living my dream, being, you know, in this situation, Western Conference Finals, you know, being where I saw myself when I was 12 years old and nobody else saw me, you know, so it's already came a long way, but it, you know, and it's only through adversity, it's only through perseverance, you know, not giving up, just keep putting the work, keep learning, and obviously when you want to win really bad, it hurts, but being able to feed from that pain and turn it into something positive and keep growing and keep, you know, at the same time keep appreciating every single moment, it's really it's really the mindset that I'm trying to embody, and I think our team has also embodied that mindset, and you know, we've been through a lot of adversity as a group over the last 2 years, individually, collectively, and that never broke us. That kept us. That made us better. And I don't think we plan on, you know, giving up now. You know, there's been some amazing progress, and we're gonna keep going through that.
Rudy, you take any scars from this? I mean, all that you've accomplished in your career, and there's some media people that were pretty critical of you, specifically in this series.
Any scars? Not really. I mean, I'm aware of, you know, the noise, and people have different opinions. People sometimes say things that they don't even believe themselves. You know, it's an interesting world. You know, the world of, you know, of what's around, you know, the game. You know, so it's I really don't try to put my energy into that. You know, I just try to focus on just being the best version of myself that I can be, and let people have their opinions. You know, I think the most important thing for me is who I am as a teammate, who I am as a human being first, and the work that I put in, and the things that I try to do for the world. You know, I think there's already a lot of work putting my energy into that. So people's opinion, you know, eventually they're going to respect, and eventually they're going to be inspired at some point. But until then, you know, I'm going to keep being the best version of myself every day.
Nikhil, this team made a big leap from last year to this year. Do you think an equally big leap is required to get the final step and get to the finals? And what do you think it will take as a group to make it that way?
100%. Winning is not easy. Looking back on each game and knowing that it comes down to if we had this possession back, it looks like a different series. If we did this differently here and there. So I think it's a huge adjustment, because that's a lot of the mental things that goes into it. And like Rudy mentioned, emotional control, mental toughness, high IQ plays. I think just ultimately for us to want to win, like we were 7 games away, and to win 7 more games that are high intensity, high pressure, always coming down to the wire. It's going to start with habits, consistency from when I leave here to God's willing next season and next postseason, and hopefully making a run again. But I think it's always about continuously making the most out of every day and trying to make that big jump, like you're saying. And it's going to take a big jump, and it's going to take constant failure and a mental battle to tune out he say, she say, to tune out the media, to humble yourself to the team, to do whatever it takes to win. And this playoff series postseason as a whole definitely taught me more about what it means to win, and not just really believing, but applying that belief, applying that trust in your work and everything so forth. But also owning that moment. I think all those things are going to play into how we grow next year and making that jump.
Nikhil, you talked about wanting to grow as a playmaker and shot creator this offseason. How as a team can you guys level up, take the next step offensively so that when you do run into an opponent with shot makers, you can go a little bit more toe-to-toe on the offensive end to answer back?
Put in the work.
Yeah, just putting in the work. I feel like everybody this season also came back a lot better as a player, and that's why we were able to make this jump. And I have confidence that if we do the same thing next season, guys will be in the right place and where they need to be. And I trust that we can do this again.
Thanks, Nikhil. Thanks for guys.
Thank you.
Mike, as you think back on this series, maybe what's one or two things that you wish this team could have done a little differently to get over the hump and get past these guys?
I think in those first few games, just being able to close out quarters better, especially the fourth. We really had a great opportunity in front of us. Had a lot of leads throughout the games this series, and when you give teams opportunities to stick around and make it a possession game, they have two of the best in the game at closing games. So that kind of bit us when it came down to it.
When you think about kind of this offense and some of the struggles you guys had in this series, what do you think needs to happen to improve that end of the floor, and what can you do better, to maybe contend with a team like this?
I think it'll start, training camp, off season, like watching film, what style of pace we want to play. The energy that we put in defensively, we have to put that same energy offensively. Passing, cutting, making extra plays, just being on time with stuff, and it has to become habits for us. Those small things in offense can be a big thing when it comes down to execution in big moments. So I think that'll be something we'll continue to work at and look at going through off season.
Mike, this fan base has embraced you so much and truly loves you, calling you Minnesota Mike. What does that mean to you to have the Timberwolves and the state of Minnesota love you this much and embrace you?
Truthfully, since I've been here, day one of last year from the trade deadline, everybody here has been so gracious and accepting my family and I, and it means the world to me. I could be in a lot of different places and a lot of different circumstances and situations, and they've made this feel like a second home, which makes my job easy going into work every day. Trying to be the best me I can be for our team and our situation. So truthfully grateful for them and all the support they've given me throughout this whole ordeal.
Mike, there's a saying that experience is life's greatest teacher, and obviously this group, some of your teammates are really young in this game. Did you see them pick up the magnitude of the moment as the playoff run went on, and was there anything that about that kind of experience that you saw them go through encourages you about what this group can do in its future?
Yeah, I think in each series we had moments where we had individual guys, a group of guys who had to either make sacrifices or change the way they played just for the sake of our team. You look at Ant, his playmaking ability throughout the playoffs just kept improving. Cat, his ability to not be one-dimensional for us. He's spacing. He's inside out. He's sacrificed himself on defense in certain series. He's guarding Jokic, and next series he's guarding KD, and he's just having to be versatile in that aspect. Rudy, things he does for us on both ends that people don't look at, his magnitude that he, the gravity that he brings every night. Jaden, I mean, he's a guy that doesn't get any credit, for actually what he does and brings to our team on a nightly basis, and see him just continually grow as an offensive player. I mean, you can go down a list of guys that have really shown up and allowed us to even have this opportunity in the first place. So we can take something from that, and I think those guys will be, itching to get back to this position again.
Mike, both Nikhil and Rudy were searching for things, areas of growth. Both mentioned mental toughness. How do you develop mental toughness?
Sometimes, like he said, experience is our best teacher. You have to go through it. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to feel what we feel right now. It's something that these guys will never forget, and hopefully push and motivate them to work on themselves. Work on themselves in every moment that we get. Opportunity to be be where we're at right now, and I think the guys just we all want to be better, and mental toughness is something that it's not easy to just attain and get overnight. But like I said, those lessons will help you.
Mike, is it harder to be this close and not quite get there, or is it tougher like last year when you're out early, and how do you handle it?
No, this is way tougher, because I feel like we were right there. I felt like early in the series that we had a couple games that we let slip that could have really turned this series, and we could be looking at things a lot different right now. So it's really frustrating, and but these things don't happen by chance. It's part of the journey for a lot of us, and we're meant to be here, and we have to learn from it.
You said before the season or before the playoffs started about not taking for granted that progress will just come linearly. What do you think? What is the most important thing that this team has to happen this offseason to make sure that you can build on this and that this wasn't the end of the road that way?
I think a lot of it is our mentality for this situation. We have to once again believe that this isn't our ceiling. This is steps towards our goal. Ultimate goal is to be a championship team, and we made strides. We did. We really did. We had opportunities, and the West isn't going to get easier. Next year it'll be a much tougher road, but we have now felt as a group playing against a team like Dallas what a championship level team is playing and how high a level you have to play at, the sense of urgency you have to have, and hopefully that's something that we hang on to going into the offseason to get us prepared for the long run back here.
It seemed like all year this team's offense was kind of reliant on the defense to get it going. How do you guys make another step on that end of the court? So if you do run into a team that's hitting shots, that you can kind of go blow for them with your offense.
You got to try to find a way to improve on that. Whether that's schematically or how we play our personnel and units that we have that we run out there together. experiment with small ball lineups or whatever it is to make us attack differently. In different cases and different teams. So I mean, we just have to, like I said, continually just grow from the experience of this and try to figure out, how we can be effective or how we can put just as much energy as we do on the defensive end and put that on the offensive end at times to match the team's aggressiveness or try to figure out how ways to get over that hump so we're not relying on one end of the floor.
Mike, kind of along those lines offensively, I think when we zoom out and look at this season or look back at the regular season and the offense was below average, does it feel that way, or how many things need to happen to get to that level where you are a top 10, top 5 offensive team?
Yeah, there's a lot of room to improve, and I think a lot of it has to do with just us being able to make simple basketball plays as a group, not just one or two guys or three guys out there, but all five, being able to be have multiple facets to their game as far as driving, kicking, pushing the ball, making good decisions when you have the ball. I think that turnovers have been a real problem for us in the past, and tonight I don't think we did much better, but we've had a lot of games where our offense would be really good if we just got a shot up. So I think all that has some part to play in it, and something that we can all get better at.
Thanks, Mike. We'll open questions for Carl.
Carl, just kind of what's your emotions right now as you sit here? Are you kind of disappointed, or do you take pride in how far you guys came this season, or kind of what are you feeling at the moment?
Disappointed for sure. I think it's simple. Got to the Western Conference Finals, couldn't get the job done. It hurts, this team has worked tremendously hard, not only improving ourselves as players, but as a team, collectively, just playing together, trusting the process through the ebbs and flows of the seasons and all the adversity. We found a way to always stick together and move forward together. So disappointed for us, we worked hard, obviously didn't get the result we wanted.
Mike and some of the other guys were saying, series maybe wasn't lost entirely tonight, but those first two games.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
that hurt. That 18-point lead in the second game hurt. I think that's the turning point.
Was it tough to come back mentally from those two games, even though it was still just a 2-0 hole at that point? Was it tough to feel like you let those slip away?
I mean, nothing's easy. Nothing's easy when in the playoffs, let alone NBA basketball. I think that I said it early in the playoffs. We've always done it the Minnesota way, the toughest way possible, and I don't think mentally we were out or checked out or anything like that. We've been used to having adversity. We always find ourselves putting ourselves in a bad position and finding a way to get out of it. So it didn't work out. Played with fire maybe a little too many times, and played a great team who played amazing and hit shots when they had to hit shots. So I'm not going to come out here at all and say, it was just all us against ourselves that cost us. They had to make shots and play well, and they did that. That team is well coached. They got great players. Got to give credit where credit's due.
Carl, you're the longest tenured member of this team. How does this playoff run kind of change the context of your entire experience? Seeing the city come alive, seeing what it's like to progress this far, and seeing what it's like to play, on a legitimate contender.
I'm just happy to see like you said, I've been here 9 years. Hope next year, I would love for the tenure to keep going. So I'm just happy after, all the years I've been here and all the ups and downs. To see the city come together so much for this team is heartwarming. You know, for someone who's been here, who's seen both sides. You know, to just see how much love these fans have given us and how much excitement we've given them in this playoff run as well in this season. You know, it brings joy to me because, like I said, I've seen the other side of it. So I think that's what makes this so disappointing. These fans deserve a chance to see the finals. I think this team, as of course, you know, we feel that we deserve that we put the work in, but these fans, you know, after all these years, they've given us so much this playoff run this season. You know, it hurts when you feel you let them down. So, you know, it's a tough one.
Kat, your first deep run yourself individually, what do you learn about what it takes to have success this way, and what more you need to do, or as individually and as a group, to get to the final?
Never let your foot off the pedal. You know, it's going to be good for us to take this experience, you know, just the execution that is required at every level. It gets higher and higher, you know, to understand the discipline that we're going to need if we want to make a deep run and then want to get to that next level, which is the finals, and also the conditioning that comes with it and everything. I think that we've done a great job all year of working hard on our bodies and our game. So, you know, I think this will be a great motivating factor for all of us to even find another level in training in this off season, and then, you know, attention to detail too, and that goes with the execution. So there's a lot, you know. Again, I'm gotta give credit to, you know, we played a great team that made shots and they executed at a high level, especially in the fourth quarter when they really needed to make shots. So I'd be remiss not to give them, you know, the credit that they deserve.
You also said, you just said that you hope to come back for year 10. Do you have any expectations on how this offseason is going to go, and what's going to happen here going forward for you and for this team?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confident that I'm going to be able to be here with my brothers and, you know, and continue to do what I love here at home. So, you know, that's the plan. Nothing's ever changed on my side. And, you know, I love this city. I love this organization. I love what this city. I love what it's given me in my life and given me and my family. So, you know, I mean, it's been about 20 minutes, so, you know, I got a lot to decompress and I got a lot to think about. But, you know, my thoughts are it's never changed since day one about this organization. So, you know, the plan is to be here.
Carl, getting to this level, you know, to the Western Conference Finals, so much of your career has been trying to build to a playoff run and to get to this point. Sometimes once you're at this level, some of the challenge is about keeping the group together, some of the off-court stuff, the noise and those sort of things. As a leader of this team and you're expressing what you're expressing, like how do you go about putting in that work?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't really. What are you trying to? Like, are you trying to say, like, how do I put in the work with all the noise
like,
outside type thing?
To be in the Western Conference, to go further.
Yeah.
There's be a step of, you know, keeping the group together.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And kind of moving forward in that way when there is trades and there are free agency and there are those sort of things. What is the challenge as a leader to keep the group focused on moving forward?
You know, just I'm gonna try my best to answer that. I think for me, with all the noise and stuff, you know, I'm gonna go into the gym every day and work tremendously hard so I could be the best version of myself. You know, the strongest, most fittest, most skilled, most sharp I've been in my career every year. I think that I took a step in my career this year in my overall game The work I put in, I feel has shown itself this season and taking another step. So I expect nothing less this offseason to take even another step with the experience now that I've garnered in this playoff run, and just seeing the game differently, with experience and time, just in my prime of my career. So stepping into it. So the other part of your question, I can't solve those equations because that's not that's not my job. So I can only take care of what I can control, and that's stepping on that court every day in the summer, stepping into the weight room every summer, and attacking it just as aggressively as I attack my rehab to come back from my knee injury. Just doing everything with purpose, doing everything with a mindset of motivation, and doing what I do best, which is put the work in. I put the hours in, I put the time in. So just continuing to do that, trust the work I put in, believe in the work I put in. It's done me well in my career.
Kat, there's a battle between the ownership and what's going to be decided. Whatever happens, do you think whoever gets control will see that they should stick with where this team is and let it grow, or do you see something else?
I don't know. I can't. That's not for me to worry about. My job is to go out there, like I said, every day in the summer and the off season, and continue to take steps forward in my game and my mentality as a not only as a player but as a person too. Keep growing as a person, keep growing as a player. I know we all get caught up in what on the court, how the game is played, but I also have to grow as a man as well. So I'm excited to see next season when I walk in here for training camp for our first interviews and stuff, to not only see the growth for me as a player that I will get to showcase to y'all throughout the season, but the growth of me as a man. So I can't speak on that. I can't control that. Like I said, I've definitely learned a lot in my 9 years here, and 9 years of being a pro basketball player and the best advice I got is to control what you could control, and I'm gonna continue to do that.
Carl, with this being such a overwhelmingly successful season for this franchise, what are you most individually proud of, whether that be for the team or yourself?
I mean, one of the things I'm most happy about is the man to my right, to see the love that Naz Reid has gotten from this city, to see the love that he's gotten from the NBA, from the media, to the votes, to everything. The Sixth Man of the Year was an honor that was rightfully earned by him. I remember seeing this man when he was young over in Jersey, and to see where he's come now, one of the best players in the NBA, in my opinion, and one of the most skilled and one of the most valuable assets you can have on any team. Definitely one of the things I'm most proud of. On the also side, just to see everyone, to see a team buy into, the greater good of the team. And, we talk a lot about, people do this, do that. They hunt for stats, the awards, and to see this team buy into each other, buy into the greater good of the team, putting wins up. It doesn't even matter about the numbers, just caring about each other, loving each other every single day, caring for each other, not only on the court, but off the court with families, being as all of us growing as men. I think what I'm most proud of is that everyone bought into that ideology, and then to see everyone still get the awards. Rudy, Defensive Player of the Year, Nas, Sixth Man of the Year, showcasing again how valuable Mike Conley is to any team, with Teammate of the Year, how he brings our team together, and taking a huge step forward and being second team All NBA. I think that's what makes me proud too. We go talk about the success on the court, but just to see everyone buy in and sacrifice for each other, but at the end of the day come out with even more success because they sacrifice for each other is what made me proud of this team. It's tough to sell that, let alone the college players. Now you're talking to NBA players, who are grown men and have families and kids and everything that comes with being an adult, and for them to come to work every day with that mentality, that mindset, it made it really fun. to play basketball with these guys and to just see them achieve goals and aspirations and dreams of theirs as a teammate.
Awesome. Thanks, Carl.
Yeah.
We'll open up questions for Naz.
Appreciate y'all too. Yo. Appreciate y'all too.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank y'all for taking care of us. Taking care of my brother right here. Love.
Naz, what are your emotions right now coming off of a disappointing end to what was a terrific season?
I just wish it didn't end like that. They just played better than us. We beat ourselves a lot of times. Yeah, I mean, I think we had a great season, like he said, Kat said. But yeah, I just wish we didn't go out like that.
I think a lot of people say when you're young and you're experiencing the first time, you got to take your lumps to learn. Does it feel like that was what was happening maybe tonight with Luka and Kyrie, more experience and been there before?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is my first time. A lot of guys' first time even being in the playoffs, but let alone the Western Conference Finals. So definitely got to take your lumps and grow through those situations. I think hopefully in the next few years or so, we'll be in the same situation when we're giving whatever young guys the whipping on the other end. So just stick with it, keep going. It's not the last time we'll be in a situation, hopefully, and just to keep growing.
What did you learn most from this longer run that you think will help going into the summer, going into next season? What stood out about the difference of playing at this level versus what you had before?
I think how in shape you are. I know a lot of guys were tired today. And obviously our play said that as well. I mean, it's a long season. Once you get to this point, I think we play over 100 games at this point. So being in shape, having the mental to where you can get through anything is possible. I think everybody pretty much had that mindset. It was just we didn't really break through that barrier where we were all active and ready to go as far as like shape wise, I guess. Like I said, everybody was pretty much tired. You could see it. I mean, that it showed.
Naz, reflecting on this season, what is something that surprised you about it that maybe you guys were excelled in more than you expected? And then also, what is something that it felt like you needed more of to be able to win this series and keep going?
I think how well everybody gelled together. I mean, obviously on every team, especially it being our second year, but I feel like everybody on this team, like they knew each other for at least 10 years, at least. We kind of grew into a brotherhood at some points, and sometimes you'd feel that connection. I think, I mean, not that you don't see that coming, but business of basketball, anything can happen. So it's just like, I know for me, growing up, and I used to be like to myself and stuff like that, to where now like I kind of like embrace those guys as like my older brothers and stuff like that. So and then to where Jaden's like my younger brother and so forth and so on. So it's like just having those relationships and being able to communicate with guys on and off the court. And then what was your second question?
What is something that you guys needed more of to be able to win the series, keep going?
I think more brains. I think situations where or experience, I would say, just understanding time and situation, understanding what was at stake, what to bring in those moments.
Naz, what's something that you're going to try to work on this offseason to kind of come back and get better going into that next season?
Really my all-around game. I'm trying to expand each and every way like I've done in the past. From every standpoint, shooting, dribbling, defense, definitely defense, being able to guard 1 through 5 consistently and being comfortable with it. Really just being a consistent basketball player for sure. I'm pretty much going to work on every facet of the game like I've done this far. So I think each and every year I've gotten better.
Any other questions for Naz?
Naz, this year with this team was positionally a puzzle, right? Particularly in the front court. Like sometimes you're playing the 5, sometimes you're playing the 3. There's What was like reflecting on that, kind of how you guys made all the bigs work together? How did that come together over the course of the season?
I think just playing off of each other was the biggest thing. Like understanding situations and being in positions. Like I know for me, like I've been in these situations before, maybe not in the NBA, but in situations before where I had to play the 3 or 4. So I kind of knew how to play off Rudy and Cat in ways. I'm sure they're in the same predicament. So it's really just me and understanding, time situation, who I'm guarding, what play we were running, where to be, who I was guarding, things like that.
Now, as with you and Ant and Kat and Mike, you have so much offensive firepower at your disposal. What did Dallas do to you guys that made it so difficult to kind of get the shots that you wanted and be more efficient on that end?
They made us tired. They made us work. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, they were ready. I don't think we made their all-star caliber players work. I think that was huge on our end. We should have done that as players. I think they made us work, 1 through 15 or whoever played.
And then when you just look back on this year with Sixth Man of the Year, beach towels, tattoos, like everything that happened for you, is this going to be a year that just sticks in your memory of
100%.
all of those experiences and the love you felt and everything?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's something that you dream about, especially like just to be in the NBA and then to have that type of love, especially from the team that you were brought in by. I mean, it's super huge, and I'm excited to go into next year. Just to show everybody how hard I worked and how hard I'm trying to bring something special to Minnesota again. I mean, it means the world, just for all the guys, people who got tattoos and, like you said, the beach towels, and then how hard I worked to get 6 man, and that goes to all the fans. I mean, they brought it, and it was huge. Definitely needed that, and it's a big confidence boost as well. Just to, especially when I check in the game, everybody's going crazy. So that's super love, and I appreciate every last person.
Naz, you mentioned playing off of both Carl and Rudy. You and Carl are such dynamic perimeter and inside players, and then Rudy has such gravity to him, especially around the rim. Do you think that's something going into next year you guys could lean into more, the three of you sharing the floor together?
Yeah, possibly. I think there's situations where when we did do it, I think it went really well. So I don't see why not. Again, that goes into how much work I put in those situations this summer. So we're definitely gonna be invested in that in this summer. So we'll see.